All right, welcome to the show, everybody. This is giveaway night 80 with special guest Randi Tieken with Window Magic Supply. Welcome to the show, Randi.
Thank you, Josh.
All right, so tonight we are going to talk to Randi about her window cleaning journey. We will talk about some of her favorite tools of the trade, and then, like, you know, when she was cleaning windows, right now she has a storefront. So when she was cleaning windows, and also about the 5-year celebration that she just had for her tool business. So I also want to hear some of your goals for the future. But first, let's see who's going to win the first prize tonight from Window Magic Supply. So if you win this tool, you can thank Randi for this. So make sure to answer the question as quickly as possible. Ready, go. All right, congratulations to the fourth person to answer and spell that correctly. You won the prize from Window Magic Supply. So you won the S Plus channel plus the handle. So congratulations. Make sure to email Randi at randy.tieken@windowmagicinc.com, or you can just email me at joshualthewindowcleaner@gmail.com, and I can send your information over to Randi and get that prize out to you. She'll have like some goodies for you as well whenever you get that. So congratulations to the fourth person to answer that, and it had to be spelled correctly and everything. So, all right, Randi, let's get this party started with your story. How did you become a window cleaner, and what happened during that time to help you start your own business?
Okay. Well, I just want to say one little thing about that S Plus channel because, well, I have a lot of favorite tools for different things, of course, but I love that S Plus channel. I love the little dog-eared corners and the way it's such a great tool. It really, really is. So that's so cool that that's the one you picked for tonight, because I'm always talking about that one. But so I started my window cleaning journey when I was 29 or 30 years old. It was 1991, and my husband had a window cleaning business, and he was just going to do window cleaning temporarily. It was just something he was going to do until he figured out what he wanted to do, because he had been in corporate America and he was tired of it and just wanted to take a little break. So long story short, I worked in my dad's sales agency he was in the building industry for architectural products. We called on architects and designers. So not my thing. I love the service industry. I love dealing with people like in a real way. I don't like to sell people things for the sake of selling things. I don't know. It just wasn't my thing. But I'd see him in his business, and he had a business partner at the time that decided he didn't want to do it anymore. And my husband was just devastated. He's like, oh my gosh, my partner doesn't want to do this anymore. And I decided, I'll be your partner. You know, I mean, we're married, and, you know, we could pull this cart, two people in the same direction. So he taught me how to wash windows. And I have to say, I felt like the biggest clod. I felt like I was all thumbs. I mean, he's trying to teach me how to wash windows. And I just remember we were on this job, and I just threw all the tools in the bucket, and I just said, forget it. You know, I was being a big baby. I can't do this. And he said, all right, well, I'll see you later. And he drove off because he had to go do another job, and I had to figure it out. I mean, he showed me everything he could show me for a long time. And I figured it out. you know, because it really is just practice, practice, practice. And
How
it was,
long did it take you to figure it out?
oh, well, after I threw my little temper tantrum and there was no one there to witness it, I realized that, you know, I better get busy. So, you know, he had taught me maybe for, you know, we had been driving together for, I can't even remember, maybe a week. And I just kind of, you know, wax on, wax off. He'd have me, because we did a lot of commercial and residential. So I'd use the pole and, you know, soap the windows, and then he'd squeegee. So maybe a couple weeks by this point. But this, I was left to do everything myself, inside and outside. And it was a pretty good commercial sized job. And so, you know, I finally did it. He probably came back. It was a long time ago, and fixed my mistakes. But it was a friend of ours, thankfully. She ran a business. And so it, you know, it becomes like riding a bike. So I did it. And my forte has always been customer service. I love dealing with people. It's just I was a waitress for a long time. Um, and it's just something I like to do. So that's what got me started in the business. And my husband's strength was sales. So he did the sales aspect. I'd answer the phone calls. And but I have to say, window cleaning I feel it's a very noble profession. It's a skill, it's a trade, it's an art. But I had to combat my ego a lot with window cleaning. So, can I give you one little example of that? So,
Absolutely.
I told you I was in my dad's sales agency, so I'd have to dress nice and you know, pull up to an architect's office and bring our, you know, our books in and show them what we were selling and stuff. And they were established accounts. We had a good reputation in the industry. And so 1 month I'm in there, you know, talking to this architect. The next month, it just happened to be one of my husband's accounts. So the next month, I'm in there washing his windows. He didn't even know I was the same person, you know, and I didn't say, hey, I was here last month. I didn't even say anything. It's just a difference in how people treat you when you're, you know, dressed nice, and then when you're dressed in a t-shirt and you have a tool belt on and you're washing windows. It was a neat experience, I have to say, but I had to fight with my ego the whole time I was there. So
I can see that. And my wife, she doesn't like the window cleaning that much as well, but she did get really good at it after a while, because I told her, I was like, I really need you to help me and figure this out, when we first got together. And she really did what she hasn't had to. Obviously, she takes care of my son all day, so she's been working real hard in that area. While I'm out cleaning windows and making the business happen, I got to go clean some windows after we record this. We're actually recording this in the morning time, so it's kind of early in the morning. So if we're both kind of like sounding like it's
fresh.
early, yeah, we're fresh. This is like right out of bed. But yeah, that's an awesome story. Thank you so much for sharing, Randy. Let's get to today in your business with tools. How did that happen, and y'all still cleaning windows, or are y'all still cleaning windows?
Yes, we still have a small window cleaning business, and which I love. So I have 2 guys and 2 girls in our business, which I love to have that balance. I just love the women in the industry. It is neat to see that out there. So I'll just tell you a short little brief journey how we got here. So we had our window cleaning business, which we had, and we ran out of our house like a lot of us do. And then in 2008, we had already been through one, you know, economy dip in the 90s in our business. And then 2008, that was our big, you know, earth-shattering recession that we had. And by God's grace and God's grace alone, he opened up an opportunity for us to buy a screen business. There was a man that we used to repair screens in our business. And we'd go to this local screen shop, John Screen Service, and we'd buy like corners and mesh and sticks and stuff from him. And he had come up to my husband and said, you know, I'm going to retire. Would you consider buying the business? Long story short, it like I say, it was God's grace that we were able to purchase this business in 2008, which kind of kept us through that time. And because people were losing their homes, people were losing their businesses, but real estate agents, it was a law in California that you had to have good screens on your windows to sell. So that kept us through. You know, we muscled through that. We built back, and so we had our window cleaning and our screen service. And then 2017, there was a local janitorial company here that went out of business, and that's where a lot of the window cleaners would get their tools. And so I have two of my guys that worked for me, one that still works for me, and one that he's still a window cleaner, but he moved to Colorado, and they mentioned something about starting a window cleaning supply business. And I was like, and we were at the window cleaning convention in Arizona when they taught, we were all just sitting there brainstorming, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is such a great idea. So that was a journey in getting that started. And then in 2000, well, it was 2019, my husband fell ill, and he's a Vietnam vet. He had a lot of injury, you know, a lot of conditions left over from that, and we had to sell our screen business. And another God's grace, we sold it during COVID, March of 2020, which was a miracle that we were able to sell it. And then, you know, I can put all my focus and energy now on the window cleaning supply business, which I love so much. It's just a labor of love, I have to say.
That's an awesome story. I'm so glad that you have those supplies, because I know I've drove all the way down to Escondido a few times just to make sure, you know, I could get something that I really needed, because you always have, like, you know, everything that a window cleaner would need, even the small stuff. Like, that was what I loved about your shop too. The first time I went in there, you know, it was like you had all the little stuff, the little things, like the little connectors, and, you know, like just little things that I wouldn't think about and be like, oh, those are cool ideas. And you just get to see it from a different perspective when you walk in there and you be able to handle the tools. It's just totally different. And I think, like we have talked about before, I think that's your niche, is people being able to come in. So, you know, be in the local shop, because that's exactly why I love your shop so much, because it is local, you know, and you can put your hands on the tools before you buy them. You can look at and see if it's really good quality tools, like they look like, because sometimes they look like, you know, good quality tools, and sometimes they might feel like a little bit cheaper, or might not feel like what you want. You know, some window cleaners like something light in their hand, like referring to a squeegee. You know, like some people want a really light squeegee. Like, that's the way my employee is. Me personally, I'd rather have something heavier. I don't know why, but it's just, I would rather have something heavier in my hand. So I like, you know, having the Sorbo, which, right. I mean, you know, the Sorbo has the ultralight as well, so that one's super light, but I like to have the thick channel and the heavy handle. Like, I don't know, I just like to have that in my hand whenever I'm working, but that's just me. But everybody's different, and it's cool to go in there and experience that, because every company is pretty much a little bit different than the other, and some of them offer different things, and it's cool to see that. And sometimes, you know, you don't have time to go through the whole thing on the website. You can just walk in there and look at everything.
Right. And see, that's what I always tell guys, you know, or gals. It's like Ford or Chevy. Some guy will say, oh, I don't like this tool. And the other guy will say, well, I love that tool. And it you know, it's all a matter of what. For instance, I'll just give you a little for instance. These two, like you were saying, so when you're trying out different tools, this is the Unger Ninja handle. This is the 30-degree handle. Yep. This is the 40-degree handle. They look almost identical, but you put them down, and it's just that, you know, I mean, carpal tunnel. I mean, this feel in your hand is totally different. But so when you get to come in and see and touch and feel, because a lot of guys will pick this up by sight and think they got the 40-degree.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, so all the little nuances of window cleaning in the Sorbo handle, which, you know, I'm a Sorbo, you know, I have something favorite in every tool, you know, because there's a different application for everything. But I love that Sorbo handle too. It feels so good in your hand.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's so many different tools out there. There really is. And that's, like I said, that's why I love your shop so much. I can be able to walk in there and see all the different brands, see what, you know, because sometimes, like I said, like I go in there and I'm like, oh, I've never even seen that tool before. That's cool.
Yeah.
You know, or and you have a lot of solution too. I know we can't see, the camera can't see all the solution below, but below that, it's shelves of solution, you know, and then above that you see all the tools on the shelf that behind Randy, but you can kind of see the bottles at the bottom. You don't have to move your camera because I don't want you to mess it.
Okay. Yeah,
I know you
know.
got. I know you got it set up. I know
And
you got
all
it
the
set up.
little clamps for, for the poles. And, when you talked about my niche, and I was talking to Sean Gavin one time, and we love Tucker too. I mean, we had hi there, the original Tucker poles, the old aluminum ones, because that's all there was back then. And then to see Sean, what he's done, and moved Tucker forward. But I remember talking to him and saying, I was getting a little discouraged because, it started out slow. It's hard breaking into a new business. And he
Oh yeah.
said, Randy, your niche is your local guys. I mean, don't get me wrong. I want online orders and I love online orders. But it's true. You get to come in and, your clamp breaks or your hose busts or your pole tip, whatever it is, your squeegee rubber. You dropped your razor in a rose bush in your last job and you can't go back and get it. Come into Window Magic. I don't care if you come in and buy $5 worth of stuff. People will sometimes come in and buy a little hose connector for $2 something. And I'm like, please do not apologize. The fact that you came in here. And I always tell local guys, I know how it is being a window cleaner. If you are on your way to a job and you got to go to the bathroom, come in and use our bathroom. Feel at home here. Yeah. This is a place of rest for a window cleaner. We want you to feel comfortable. We want you to, and no pressure, ever. You want to just come in and look around and leave, that's fine too. So we welcome.
It's a very good experience going in there. It's definitely like, good vibes in there. Every time I've ever been in there, it's just always been a good experience. And you've always been so welcoming. And we're going to talk about your 5-year celebration in just a few minutes. But before we get into that, I wanted to ask you, what would you say your favorite tools were when you were cleaning windows?
Okay, so that was 1991, like I said. And I have to be honest, I don't know all the tools that were available at that time, but I know what we had. And we were on a very limited income. So I had the Ettore, the brass channel, and it wasn't a quick release. I don't even think they had the quick release. It was the brass handle. They did come out with, I think, the Pro Plus swivel handle. So I used the brass channels. And then, okay, so that was great. And the T-bars, I mean, all the stuff I got by the time I got it, like all the handles were stripped. So it was pre-wagtail, pre-Mormon. Everything I had was floppy, because everybody had used it to death, and then I got it. But anyway, we met, and this was like the neatest thing. And I think it was in Nashville. I can't remember what window cleaning trade show. It was the IWCA. Sorbo was there, and he was, this was like 30 years ago, and he was just trying, there displaying his products. And my husband, we went over to the booth, and he was just in love with the Sorbo 3x4 channels. He was like, oh my gosh. So, and he had the big 6-foot thing there, and he's, it drew a lot of attention. So once we met Sorbo and saw his tools, we were just sold. Don't get me wrong, we still love Ettore, but we were sold on Sorbo. For commercial jobs too, even residential, you can't beat Sorbo. It's going to last. We probably have channels that are over 20 years old from our Sorbo. I have a customer here raising his hand going, me too. He's buying Sorbo rubber right now.
No, I love my Sorbo.
I just, it's such, and when you read Sorbo's story, he was a window cleaner here in Palm Springs, California, and how his journey, he wanted to do the best job for his customers. So it was a labor of love for him to make these products. And Ettore too, with they hand inspect. So anyway, that's how we, what we used. And what was funny is when we started washing windows, they didn't have the bucket on a belts. And my husband would make one from the big PVC, and he'd put the end cap on it. And that was our bucket on a belt, and then they came out. I think the first one we had was the Pulex, the Tubex. That was like really innovative. So, and it still is. It's a great, it's a great bucket on a belt. But it's just neat to see the evolution and how, what do they say? Necessity is the master of invention. People would need something, so they'd invent it. And that's just how so many of these tools came about, because I believe window cleaners, so many window cleaners are very artistic.
Yes.
I mean, it's
that
just
is so true.
yeah. So
what about, like, okay, so let's talk like currently. So what about a must-have tool for traditional and a must-have tool for water-fed pole? Because you talk to customers, every day in and day out, and you get feedback from everybody. So, what would you say a must-have tool for traditional and a must-have tool for water-fed pole that you think people don't give enough credit to?
oh gosh, like I say, and I have to say, I love watching like Steve-O and how he demonstrates these tools, because he comes up with the neatest ideas, like the Mormon handle with the Ettore brass channel. I mean, I love the Mormon handle, and I love the liquidator for residential. I love it's so hard to pinpoint one, because I think for each job is so unique, that for commercial work, I love the Sorbo. For residential, I love that S Plus channel, the Ettore. I love the brass channel just because nostalgia. I mean, it's just such a, I love the master rubber.
Yeah.
The Ettore master rubber is so good. And that's what's kind of neat. You could put, the round rubber and other round squeegees. So it's hard for me to pinpoint one favorite thing, because, for one application, I like Sorbo. For another application, I like Mormon. For another application, I love Ettore or Unger. So it's hard for me to say exactly, but there's just, like I say, something for everybody.
Yeah. What do you think doesn't get enough credit currently? Like maybe something that that's a really good one right now. I know there's so many, but if you could just think of one that might not get enough credit that you see people buying all the time.
Well, the Unger, and I think the Wagtail too, because I think the Wagtail, they're so innovative. Oh gosh, I'm leaving out Maker.
Yeah.
Maker does not get. Okay, so I know Richie, it kind of bugs him when I say this, but Richie started washing windows for us about 30 years ago. Richie Blue, my husband, and him. Richie is like a son to my husband. My husband just loves Richie, and Richie loves my husband. So he taught him how to wash windows. And Richie is a true artist, and I tell you, I mean, no matter what Richie does, his wheels are turning all the time on how he can make something better. He plays harmonica. He designed a harmonica that could have probably been world renowned, but unfortunately, it didn't get the press it should. And so I think Maker, like I've detailed the past couple weeks, he was out there doing the work, thinking, how can I do this? Just like Sorbo, how can I do this better? How can I do this quicker, more efficient? So I do say, out of all the products that we carry, so many of them have been around so long, but Maker right now is not getting the press it should. I really believe.
Perfect. That's what I was looking for. I was trying to see. I had to dig it out of you a little bit. Well, I had to dig it out of you because I know you see so many tools. You're surrounded by tools all day, so it's hard to think about which one's your favorite and which one. But yeah, that's exactly what I was looking to hear, is like something like that, something that's not getting a whole lot of attention right now, that just really is over the top. And I would agree with you. I mean, Maker Products has really done a great job with their tools. We talked about the handy sleeve. I had somebody reach out and say, hey, like, I heard about the handy sleeve on your show and I bought one, and that thing is amazing. So, same here. I mean, for skylights, like we had to do some weird pointy skylights, and you just can't really get the squeegee in there sometimes to do a good job. And that handy sleeve will save your life. You can throw some towels on there and get it done, but
it has so many uses.
Yeah.
I have a handy sleeve. I have the 10-inch T-bar with the handy sleeve for home when I do like cobweb dusting, because these cobweb dusters are good for exterior, but you don't want to bring that exterior cobweb duster in a house.
Yeah, that's true.
So you put a towel on the handy sleeve, it's not going to fall off like when
Yeah.
you put it on the tip of your pole and it's always falling off. And you just get all the cobwebs down. I mean,
Yeah.
you're at a customer's house, and then you take that towel off, and it's got the cobwebs on it, and the handy sleeve still looks great. Then it's and the sleeves for the handy sleeve, you can't beat them. You really can't.
Yeah. No, I really like it, and there was only one issue that I had with it, but I ended up solving it pretty quick. Was I would put the whole thing in the bucket, but that the sleeve would hold water.
Yeah.
And so then what I ended up doing was just switching it to a squirt bottle basically, and then instead of dipping it in the bucket, filling up a squirt bottle with the bucket water and then just squirting it on there whenever I needed more water. That seemed to work out a lot better for me. And then I'm not dealing with a wet T-bar either. You know what I mean? Then it's just the mop.
Right, and that's how Richie always did it when he was out washing windows. He'd use the squirt bottle,
That
which is a
that
great
yeah.
idea.
That makes so much more sense. And then, to not have the ends blow out and to have those end defenders, like basically like those
Oh,
little pieces that go right there on the end, super smart. And the fact that you can just buy more of those, because that's a big thing. Like I feel like a lot of times, sometimes my sleeve is good, but the scrubbers done went out, so I'll chunk it and get a new washer sleeve because of the ends. Nine times out
right.
of 10. So it's easier just to get a whole bag full of them and then you just swap them out and they last forever. Like I've had that.
Exactly.
The blue and white ones really last a long time. The bronze wool, depending on how much you use it, will probably go out before any of the other ones. But the blue and the white one last a very, very, very long time. So
Yes, they do.
just
Very
from using them,
innovative.
yeah. I love it. I would 100% agree with that. Now, let's talk about what about water fed pole side.
Okay, so water-fed pole, like I mentioned, Tucker. I mean, Tucker's near and dear to my heart. Um, it, I'm looking at the systems right now. That's why I'm looking over here. So, as far as the poles, I mean, Tucker makes, and they have two lines of poles. Um, they got the 3K carbon fiber, and then they have like the other line, the Eco. They're still calling it Eco line, and those poles are great. And the Tucker brushes, I mean, they have so many different ones. Some people love the Alpha brush with the rinse bar on it with the swivel. Some guys just like the Euro brush without the rinse bar and without the swivel. I mean, they have a brush for every like. Pulex also has a great brush. They have a nylon filament brush that I'm I'm getting more in because I sold out of. It's called a sill brush, so it's a little wider, which is a great brush. And gardener poles, zero poles are great too. I mean, it's so hard because I think you got to put something in your hand and see how you like the feel of it. But
Yeah.
uh, Tucker, Gardner, Gardner's been around a long time too. They have a great system, and Pulex has a great. The Tucker redesigned their S4 cart. They call it the Rival Plus now. It's a 4-stage cart, and they got the Rival, which is a great 3-stage. And the Pulex has a new hydro cart, and you could put a pump. They have one that comes with a pump, and it's more of a portable one than their bigger electric cart. So there's just so many to choose from, and I do have them on display here. So you could see them, you could roll them around, you could see the different canisters and things like that. So you can't go wrong with any of the ones I mentioned. They're all great.
It sounds like the brush from Pulex was the main one that I haven't heard of. So I'd be interested to see more about that brush from Pulex. So what is it called?
It's called the Sill, Sill, Sill brush. You can do it, you can turn it both ways. And it's a little wider. It's a 14-inch brush. I usually have it in stock, but it sells really, really good. I got more on order, so I should be getting. So I'm going to do my video
Okay.
for Tool Time on poles this week, but the next week when I get those brushes, I'll do one on those brushes.
Okay. Yeah, that would be awesome.
They have a Boars one as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to see those because I don't remember seeing any brushes from them, and I've heard that I wasn't too impressed with their traditional line personally,
Right.
but on the water fed pole side, like some of the things I've seen, I was like, wow, that's actually like a lot better than I've seen on the traditional side,
Oh, I think
so
that's their niche is
yeah.
their machines and their bigger equipment type stuff. Their screen washers were pretty amazing. Did you see it
Oh,
at my
yes, I
event?
did.
Yeah.
I like, man, if I had $800 just to blow, I was gonna buy that thing because that thing, oh my gosh, like I was looking at it and I was like, it's so simple but durable and like it just makes sense. Like
Yeah.
I see exactly how they did everything and I was like, that makes so much sense how they would do that. And it's a simple design, but it's so durable because of the materials that they use. And I
Yeah.
was talking to him about that and he was like, yeah, well, like we take a lot of pride in this thing. This thing here is like, the real deal screen washer. And I have the other screen washer, which is great.
Yeah.
But these you don't have to worry about the legs unfolding. You just kind of set it in the truck, and like I said, super durable and simple.
Foot
But
lever too.
yeah, the
So
foot
you
lever
just,
was super cool. Yeah, because
I
then you just
know.
switch it off. Sometimes I wish the other one had that. If you try to do that with the other one, you're gonna get wet foot real quick.
I know.
But it's still, hey, that screen washer is still a good screen washer. It's better than
Oh,
having
it's
nothing.
great.
It's like better than having nothing for sure. But
The Zero and the Aztec, they're great screen washers too.
so let's talk about the 5-year celebration that you had. How did it go? And
Ah,
just tell me what happened.
it was so fun. Well, I have to tell you, whenever I do anything like that, I'm always afraid no one's going to come. So that was, but a lot of, I prayed my little heart out that, it would be a wonderful experience for everybody that attended. And so I invite vendors, and I was so grateful that Pulex came. And so it was a long shot. Well, Sorbo's right here in Palm Springs, so that's like less than 2 hours from here. And I just love Sorbo. I
He's
just love him.
awesome.
And he comes in, he's come into our shop before. And so I messaged, I said, I would be so honored and touched if you would come to our celebration. And they messaged back, he would love to come. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So of course I wanted a lot of people to be here because I wanted them to meet him. I mean,
Yeah.
he truly is the godfather of the wide body squeegee.
Yeah.
He truly is. I mean, he invented that. And they were so gracious to me. He designed, which I just happen to have right here, 2 shirts for our event that, like, honestly, when you go on Sorbo's website and you read, when I wanted to have Sorbo, when I wanted to supply Sorbo in my store, he's very selective on who he lets sell, which I love because he truly, his heart and soul is in his product, and he wants people to represent it properly. He wants it to be in places that value what he has. And so I had to jump through a few hoops to be able to sell Sorbo. And because I didn't meet their qualifications, I had just started out. And so he said, nevertheless, I'll let you sell it. This was 5 years ago. So I was like, oh my gosh, I think I almost started crying. So for him to design these T-shirts, so this is the back, the Sorbo T-shirt, and then it's got the Sorbo logo, his name on this side, and then it's got Window Magic Supply on this side. I could not take the liberty to do this myself. Sorbo did this. And then this is the short sleeve. So it's got Sorbo on the front, Sorbo on the back, and Window Magic Supply. These are like special edition shirts, and I did give a few out. I think you even got one, Josh.
I did. I've wore both of those shirts on the show because I love them so much, and I wear them all the time. Like I love them so much. Like those shirts are really awesome, and they're really high quality shirts too. Like especially those blue shirts are like super high quality.
They really
Like,
are. It was a big deal, and he came and he set up his booth, and his monster pole. I don't know if I have it here. It's a 40-foot pole, and this thing is he demoed it and he gave one away. He raffled one off, and that pole is amazing. It's designed for traditional work, but
Yep.
you could totally use it for DI.
Yep.
You
I
could run,
I have one.
polos.
I have one. It was old school.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I do have one. So that pole is awesome. Like it's so perfect. It's not made for water fed pole. I would not recommend trying it for water fed pole at all. It's definitely recommended only for traditional cleaning
Okay.
for a
Zip
squeegee.
what I just said.
Because I've already talked to him about it, and he said it's designed for. Because I asked him, I was like, I can't use that thing for water polo. He was like, don't. He said it's not made for that. It's made for a squeegee. But I do 50-foot jobs a lot of times, and sometimes like I have jobs that literally leak oxidation so bad that we water fed pole it because that's just an easier way to clean it for us, and then we just squeegee it, and then whatever is left on the window, you don't have to detail. It dries because it's spot free. It's not as bad as, you know what I mean, if that makes sense. But it's a lot of glass, and then it has like a ring on the top and it leaks oxidation. But anyway, so we use the squeegee after water fed pole. So we'll water fed pole it, and then we just squeegee behind.
Oh.
That's not something I tell like everybody, but I guess I just did. But that's just something we do, and it works great. Like it works great. And a lot of times, if a customer calls and we've done water fed pole, and they say, "Hey, Josh, there's spots on the window," even though we rinse like really good because we do, it's the same process every time, but this happens. Then we go back and we water fed pole just the glass, and then we squeegee it just to make sure. You know what I mean? We don't want to run into any more issues. With because a lot of times there'll be like landscapers blowing dust everywhere, and then
Right.
it settles on the water. It's not the water fed poles problem. Whenever it comes to that, it's always the user or the environment.
Yep.
So that's 100% of the problem. If you run into problems with spots, it's either the user or the environment that you're in, from my experience. But I use squeegee. So anyways, this pole has been awesome. Like, I mean, I'm gonna take some pictures of the next job we do with 40 feet up. But using it at like 20 feet has been really nice. It doesn't. It's not like it doesn't have like the clips on it. It actually has like little screws and little twisties on there to make sure that it's solid. But it's very, very lightweight and very, very stiff. Like very solid.
Yeah, very rigid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great pole. It truly. I mean, you're doing like we have some jobs where we're doing the inside of a warehouse. I mean, you can't use water fed pole in there, and I mean, so in order to be able to use that pole for that is amazing. Something that is going to be, stiff and rigid, that you're not bending and stuff like that.
You have
because
so
a lot
much
of
more
times,
control.
right, because a lot of times people want to use their water fed pole, which is great for traditional sometimes. But this one is so light,
Yeah.
and so easy to use,
Yeah.
which is so nice.
Yeah, it's very, very good pole. And they had that at the 5-year celebration. So I got to see that and talk to Sorbo about the pole, and just talk to him about a lot of different things. And so it was a great experience for me personally. And you gave out so much stuff. I tried to go live. I went back on my YouTube, and it was super choppy. So I think that the people that said that they watched it was clear, but I guess when it uploaded, it was super choppy. So I had to pull it down because you couldn't really make out anything. But Damien and a couple other people were there in the live as I was live streaming, and they really got to enjoy it. I was hoping Damien could come out, but he wasn't able to make it this time. But maybe we can make it
Who
for
was
the next
that?
one. Damien.
Oh, right. Yeah, we did have. I mean, I was so touched by how many people came, and then Medina came down from Los Angeles with his amazing rigs, and I mean, it was just such a neat time, because I think sometimes window cleaning can be a solitary job, and then you get with other window cleaners, and that's what I want here, is a sense of community for people to come and share ideas. We don't have to compete with anybody. There's
That's
enough.
right.
That's my husband used to always say. There's enough windows for everybody.
Yep.
Let's build our profession.
Yep.
And have the integrity of, being united, and we could help each other.
Yep.
And that's what I saw happen here at the event. It was so, and you feel proud of your profession when you're with other people that, you see doing the work. It's just a neat thing. We are going to have a little plug in February for anyone local. We have a glass guy next door that he installs glass, and he's going to do an educational on the different types of glass, the new glass coming out, what to watch for, and things like that. But anyway, I am
cool,
a runaway train. You got to corral me back in. So you ask the next question. I'm sorry.
All right, no, you're good. So we're actually right now at the second prize wheel time. I really appreciate everybody joining tonight and sharing, and Randy sharing this information with us. I really appreciate. everybody that's listening and commenting live in the chat right now. Also, let's spin the wheel and see who's going to win from WCR. Here we go. Right. Congratulations to the third person to answer that correctly. I know everybody that was watching the spin wheel, you were probably looking at that and like, Joshua the window cleaner kit this week. Nope, it was very close, but it wasn't. So this is what you won. We were just talking about this. This is a very light squeegee in your hand. Awesome squeegee to use. This is my employee's favorite squeegee. So congratulations. You have won this from windowcleaner.com. Make sure to email me at joshuathewindowcleaner@gmail.com and make sure to use these products and leave a review on windowcleaner.com. That really helps them and other window cleaners know how real window cleaners experience have been with these products before purchasing them. All right, Randy, I have one more question for tonight, and we are going to wrap it up and go to the live show off the clock. I wanted to ask, what are your future goals for the supply shop?
You know, we're kind of treading through a weird economy right now. I mean, my future goals were I want to have another little store down in the San Diego area, which is that was on the books before COVID hit, but that kind of got thrown off. So I would like to have another little store down in San Diego. And I have an amazing person working with me, Jose, who's right here. And he builds our website. And so I just want to, I mean, this is how I feel. With all the other suppliers, there are great suppliers in this industry. And, you know, I'm the new kid on the block, and they've all been so gracious and kind to me. And that's what I love about this industry. There's no ill will between suppliers. So it doesn't have to be an us versus them thing. I only have good things to say about everybody else in the industry. And I just want to be able to provide window cleaners an avenue to get the tools they need when they need them so they can be successful. I'm getting older, and I'm just so grateful for everything I've been allowed to do. Honestly, I have such a passion for window cleaning, you know, and I don't know why, I just do. And I love it when a new window cleaner walks in the door and says, I'm new in the business. What can I don't want to sell you a bunch of stuff you don't need. What do you need now? And then when you make money with this, then we'll go to the next level and the next level. And safety is always number one. And there's great people in the solar industry that really stress the safety. So future goals are not like this big, you know, financial thing. It's just to be here now and do the best I can do now and see what the future holds, because I really don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I totally understand that. And we have you have your tools at my shop. I haven't told a whole lot of people that, but we have a whole section of our shop that has window cleaning supplies, and I think that there should be like a Temecula pickup on your website, I think.
Well, we do have on there, I do believe, right, Jose, that we have the store in Temecula.
No,
not yet.
Not yet. So we're still
getting everything. Yeah. We're getting everything kind of boosted so that we can be ready for the success, because with the point of sale and everything. But that will be there. It's been kind of word of mouth, but we want to make sure we're up and ready to go
Yeah, for
in a
sure.
good, positive way. And if there's anything you need us to bring up there, we always tell people, the solutions are all there, that, like the basics that you need. The bigger stuff isn't there yet.
That way, everybody in Temecula and in my local area doesn't have to drive all the way down to Escondido. You can get your tools right here in Temecula, and you're still supporting Window Magic Supply. So I wanted to
Yes.
give her that shelf space because I wanted to
Thank you.
support her. She's always been here to support me. She supported me from the very beginning. I walked in, had this crazy idea about giveaway night, and here we are on the 80th night.
I know.
But I'm so very grateful for you. I mean, I was gonna try to buy the tools myself. I remember talking to you about that, and you were like, "No, like I
Nope.
want to sponsor you," and I just really appreciate that. You always being there to support me, and you just been awesome every time I've ever bought anything from you. You just been always there to just eagerly help, and also the people that do come into the shop that ask to buy window cleaning supplies. I've had to call you a couple of times, and you've always been right there to answer the phone, right there to help. And also I have, business cards there where you can call Randy if I'm not there at the shop. Whenever you go, you can always call Randy and ask her about any of the supplies that are on the shelf. My guys might not know about those because those are the screen guys. So at that shop, we are a screen shop. So they might not be able to answer every question, but that's why we have Randy's number right there in the front of the display, and you can take a card as well. So, but I'm very,
And
very grateful for Randy.
Well, I'm very grateful for you. I truly am. It's been very mutual, Josh. So thank you, and thank you everybody that's listening tonight. This has been a lot of fun. Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, thank you. No, I'm so grateful that I was able to get you on the show. I wasn't for sure if you would want to get on the show with me, but I was like, no,
Of
she's already
course.
making videos. She can do this. So I'll be forever grateful for this episode. This has been a really good episode. But yeah, so is there anything else that you would like to add for tonight before we wrap things up?
No, just that, you know what? Be proud of your profession, and, just be the best you can be, and don't let people get you down. Let your light shine. So,
That's it.
and thank you.
Nope.
Thanks everybody
No
that,
problem.
is out there doing the deal, keeping our economy going.
That's right. Yeah, very important right now. Especially, it's been a weird year. I mean, we've done very well, but it's been really hard this year. Like
I
it's
know.
most of the time it's a lot easier to get busy and things, but it is just this year has just been really a struggle. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and go to the off the clock show. So if you want more tonight and you have time to join me, please stay for the live show for more off the clock topics and about life and business, cash prizes and a ton of fun with the physical prize wheel that you see behind me. I don't know if y'all have seen this. You're probably wondering like, why hadn't he spun that yet? We do that on the live show. People donate money, and then basically everybody that donated gets their name on the prize wheel. We spin it, and one person gets the whole thing. So we're trying to help other window cleaners out there, and this is a fun way to do that. So make sure to donate if you want to win the cash prize and get your name on the spin wheel. When this is over, go back to my channel and go to the live show called Off the Clock. Thank you so much, Randy. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
All right, y'all have a blessed night, and we'll see y'all on the live show. Peace out.
Thank you, Josh.